Happy Friday, Yarmouth! And what a beautiful spring week it was. We're back with another Friday 5 to cover 5 items happening in Yarmouth that we can't wait to tell you more about. And again, this week, just like every other week, we have some great friends along the way to tell you more about it. But before we get started, I wanted to just thank those again who came and participated in our annual volunteer appreciation event on Monday. It was over at the Public Safety Building and we had almost 70 participants. These are folks who volunteered their time to work on boards and committees for various town-wide policies, and we can't thank them enough. The work that you do is so important, and the support that you give us at the town office is equally impactful. So thank you again. For those who may be interested in volunteering for one of these boards and committees, there are openings. There's always openings. So if you want to find something you may be able to sort of lean into or add to, go to the town's website under boards and committees, and there's a list of all openings. If you have any other questions, make sure you reach out to us. With that, let's get into item number 1. We're kicking things off this week with a familiar face. It's been a couple weeks, though.
It's been a couple weeks.
Karen McNeil, Director of Yarmouth Community Services. Just something that's come onto our radar, and we want to share it with you. We don't have a ton of information right now, but it is important that you know that there's going to be some tree work, or anticipated some tree work, through Central Maine Power over the next few months that may impact folks on West and East Elm Streets.
Correct.
So what can you tell us about it? Again, we don't know much, but what can you tell us about it now, and how can we get folks involved?
Yeah, thank you, Scott. And for the public, we're going to get all of our information out as we have it. Currently, East and West Elm Streets are the prime target for storms and power outages. And with that, CMP is going to be doing a pretty major pruning and clearing effort that could include removals. One thing that homeowners need to know is if you're on East and West Elm Streets and your side of the road is under the power lines, your trees could be either pruned or removed. And CMP has contracted Lucas Tree Company. We will provide all that contact to you as soon as we have it. But at this point, Lucas's representatives will be going around and talking door to door with residents. If you're not home and you start to see the Lucas trucks, feel free to call the number that we'll have posted for you in the future. You do have a choice. You can have the tree removed. You can also choose to do nothing or anything in between. But definitely circumstances will also leave the cut wood, Scott. Very important that homeowners know this. Any of the cut wood, whether it be a removal or pruning, will be left for you to remove or dispose of. The town will be taking care of the right-of-way trees and identifying which are the hazards and which need to come down. And we will be coordinating the stump grinding and the removals of the wood that comes down from that project.
Yeah, so our town arborist, Scott Couture, is making the rounds, learning more, and talking with community members. And again, there's a couple of really important pieces here that Lucas will be doing the rounds, and we'll be trying to connect with folks who live within those 2 streets. But again, it's depending on if you're home. So again, if you have questions or if you have concerns or if you have trees that you'd like to preserve or want to talk with folks from CMP, we're going to work on getting that information. If we have it, it'll be down below, but if not, we're going to be sharing it in the coming weeks because it could start any time. So it's sort of this unique balance of we don't like to lose our power all the time, but we like to preserve the tree canopy that we have. So again, we're learning about it as we go along, and if you live on those streets, you may be impacted, especially with the cleanup of the debris after the fact. So again, we're working with some of our neighbors, trying to figure out good uses for that wood that's going to be coming down. But again, more news to come on that, but we'll share it as we get it.
Thank you, Scott.
Awesome. On to the next item. Number 2, I hope you had an opportunity to come and join us on Memorial Green for the first farmers market of the season. New space, same great farmers market. Special thanks to those who are volunteering to bring it back and our work here at YCS. So, as a reminder, throughout the market season, the Metro Breeze bus stop the bus won't be stopping at the normal Metro Breeze bus stop. Instead, on Thursdays only, and from early May all the way through the end of October, Thursdays from 1 to 7, the Breeze will be picking up right here on Main Street. So I don't know, 60, 70 feet, a little closer to Main Street. So again, times won't be affected. Pickup and drop off will be both at this same location, and they'll be doing a turnaround behind the town office. So again, from May 1st through October 26th, just on Thursdays from 1 to 7 p.m. If you're jumping on the Breeze bus, make sure you do it here on Main Street. Number 3, we're back with some friends here. Julie Dubofsky, who's our assistant planner, and Colin Durant, which I just pronounced his name, I think, correctly.
You did it, yeah.
Fantastic, from the Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee, who's sort of a frequent face now, talking a little bit about National Bike Month.
Yeah.
And as an incredibly bike-centric community, we celebrate that. And we're just going to tell you a little bit more about some bike safety, some other things that we've got about sharing the road and making sure that everybody is safe when we're sort of navigating throughout Yarmouth. So Julie, what should we know?
Yeah, well, I would say the top 3, to go with our number 3, is that we're taking different approaches in town. So if you think about from the system-wide view, so the big picture, the town is working in collaboration with the Bike and Pedestrian Committee, multidisciplinary Vision Zero Task Force, as well as the Complete Streets Advisory Committee, to adopt the regional Vision Zero Action Plan, which was adopted by the Greater Portland Council of Governments in 2023. So as part of that, that's looking town-wide at places with high crash histories, looking for patterns in those trends, as well as supplemented by community concerns. So if anybody wants to really dork out, you can go to GPCOG's website to look at the maps and data of Yarmouth, or onto the Complete Streets Advisory website to see what was discussed just this month. So that's the town system-wide view. And then you get down to what can we actually do, like at the street level, if someone has concerns. And that's where we have the traffic calming toolbox. So again, we work with the same partners to develop, so that it's everything from a raised speed table, also known as like a raised crosswalk, or it could be something like the curb extensions that are out on Main Street. What are those specific things that we can do that are approved both like by the town and by the state and by the feds, who all look at the streets. And then at the very local level, we have something new, and I don't have it in my pocket, but check out last week's, was the trails map, which Bike Ped Committee has been working on with, again, GPCOG and other community stakeholders for almost a year to build that out with community feedback. We were at the bike fair last year, and that's coming up next week on May 10th. They still need volunteers, so get on that, guys. And then also to really think about town-wide, where are those gaps in the infrastructure too? And where are those secret places that you may not know about? Colin, I think you have one on your street right behind us.
I do have one. So we're standing at West Elm and Tenney, and at the end of the street I live on Tenney, there's a path that goes to Hillside. It's a town path. It's not a secret path, but this was one of the things I really was hoping that the map would help people do, is discover those paths. So that path from Tenney to Hillside is a great connector for kids going to school. People use it walking all the time, and you kind of avoid some intersections that way, and it's a safer way to get around town. So they're all around town, thankfully, and hopefully we can build more, and that's a great example of what the map will show people when they look at it.
Yeah, and we're also standing here today to kind of do a little slow intro, we'll say, on a project that the Bike Ped Committee, Colin's leadership, is working on in development right now. So there'll be lots of opportunities coming up for additional public engagement. Colin, would you like to talk about that too?
Yeah, sure. So I think we've mentioned before, speeding and dangerous driving is one of the top concerns we hear as a committee. We hear that sort of anecdotally. We hear that through complaints and suggestions that come in through the traffic calming toolbox. And so the committee, in coordination with the town, and Julie is such a rock star, has been helping lead this effort. We're putting together a traffic calming demonstration project. The idea is that on some gateway we'll develop some gateway treatments on some of the major roads that lead into the village to really signal to drivers that there's going to be more bicycle traffic, more people biking, more people walking, and so there'll be some treatments like enhanced crosswalks, which just make it easier to see that the crosswalk is there, and some speed tables, which are like a speed bump that'll help slow people down. And so we'll be putting those treatments on, hopefully on West Elm, on sections of East Elm, on 115 Sligo, and so we're really excited about this. We're hoping to get some funding from DOT. If you live on any of those roads, reach out to us and are supportive. We need signatures from the community, and so then we've developed some great designs thanks to Julie's work, and the volunteers on our committee, Ben and Jen, have been helping with that. And And so our next step is to hope to get funding from DOT so we can put in these temporary installations, get that data for how it's working, and then maybe if it's working well, we can look at some more permanent solutions. So thanks again to the town for being so supportive of that.
This is another great example of how we're working with these volunteer boards and committees. You guys do so much phenomenal work and help make our lives infinitely easier by getting a lot of these great projects out on the street. So with that, I think there may be this may be a bit of foreshadowing, some upcoming spots on the Friday Five throughout the month of May as we continue to welcome spring and inform folks on how to be safe on the roads.
Yeah, enjoy National Bike Month, y'all.
Awesome. We're on to number 5.
I think you're actually on to number 4.
I am number 4.
May the 4th.
He'll get it. Number 4, we've been trying to spread the word high and low, but in case you haven't heard, the town's undergoing a statistical revaluation of property throughout town, and I've got the pleasure of having Rob Sutherland, who's our regional assessor for the town of Yarmouth, who's helping with those efforts. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, happy to be here, Scott.
So tell us a little bit more about what a statistical revaluation is and maybe how it's a little bit different than a traditional revaluation.
Sure. So a statistical revaluation is a process by which the town can equalize tax burdens across the municipality. Statistical reval in particular uses sales data almost exclusively to do so, as opposed to a conventional revaluation where every single property is inspected by whatever company is contracted by the municipality, in this case Vision Government Solutions. In the case of Yarmouth for 2025, Vision Government Solutions has been contracted by the town to analyze sales data from the prior 2 years up through April 1, 2025.
Great.
To reset schedules, to make property tax burden essentially more fair across the municipality.
That sounds great. So tell us a little bit why it's happening now and why it's important for Yarmouth.
Sure. So the general rule of thumb is that towns go through revaluations about every 10 years or so. The last time it happened in Yarmouth was about 2016.
Yep.
So this will be a chance for the town to essentially bring market value from 2016 up to 2025 and stay compliant with state statute in both rulemaking and guidelines from Maine Revenue Services to make the tax burden fair according to state definition.
Yeah, and the real estate market's been a little bit crazy over the last few years.
Sure, no, it's certainly different from 2016, that's for sure.
Right, and so some of those conditions that we have been basing value on for the last 10 years or so may be changing a little bit.
Yes. So again, the goal of a reval is to redistribute tax burden, not necessarily to increase the amount that's collected by the municipality.
Got it.
It is a revenue neutral process. Yeah. So by resetting the valuations, it's not necessarily raising taxes higher than would otherwise be. It's just redistributing the way that burden is assigned across the town.
Got it. So the $1 million question that people have and that we get asked all the time is, are my taxes going to go up? And it's sort of a maybe, maybe not, right?
Right. Yeah, the old saw is about a third go up, a third stay the same, and a third go down. Yeah. Of course, that's probably not entirely uniform across every project, but it's a good rule of thumb, assuming a stable budget from year to year.
Yep.
Again, the goal is to redistribute the burden. Some may go up, some may go down, and some may stay more or less the same.
So on the tax side, so the budget side, we're looking at about a 6% increase year over year, but that also comes with a reduction in the overall mill rate by about $10. So, you get asked, what's the sort of tax impact on a $400,000 or $500,000 house? It's kind of hard to say because it depends on the house.
Exactly. So as the valuations inevitably go up, because it's been like I said before, almost 10 years since this has happened, your tax rate is going to go down in a roughly comparable proportion, and so it's a good point to bring up. Yeah. We will be sending out notices with Vision sometime in early June for the new proposed values for the properties. Those won't include an estimated new tax. So, and part of that is because the tax rate won't be set yet until we have the total valuation of the town. Yeah. But it will be an opportunity to, one, reach out to Vision if you have any questions, or to my office as well, to either contest your valuation, your proposed valuation, excuse me, or to ask any questions.
Right.
But to that point, yes, we won't necessarily know where any particular property's tax burden is going to change to until we're a little further in the process.
Got it.
But until then, if you have any questions, of course, taxpayers are free to reach out to us or Division Government Solutions.
That's great.
And we also have information on our website.
Yeah, so we'll make sure to have some contact information below if you have any questions. Rob's a great resource. The folks at Vision have been really awesome to work with. And if you want to know a little bit more about how it might impact you here locally, the town does have a project page dedicated to this effort. It has an FAQ with questions that we've solicited to date. If you have questions that you think we should add on to that, we can add some context, add some answers to it. Always reach out. We're happy to include that as well. On that page, there's also videos from 2 separate public listening sessions, public forums that we've had with Rob and the Vision team. The most recent one being in mid-April. We didn't get a great turnout for it, but we have had a lot of interest afterwards. And so take a look. Rob will run through in detail what this process looks like. Vision will give you an overview of what their process looks like and what the sort of the public hearing piece of it will occur after those values are out. So anyways, thanks again for all you do, Rob, and thanks for joining us this week.
Awesome, thanks, Scott.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're on to item number 5. Number 5, wrapping things up this week with another Town Council primer. As a reminder, the Town Council meets 3 times per month, the first, second, and third Thursday of each month. First Thursday is their workshop meeting where they identify new items and, as the name suggests, they workshop them. They ask questions, they get presentations from, from staff and from experts, and they review all the backup documentation. The second Thursday of each month is what's called an operations committee meeting, and during that time, it's more of a less formal workshop where they continue to review items that are on the docket for approval the following week, which leads us to week 3, which is their voting meeting. So they will have had at least 2 weeks to review and to workshop items that they will then take a decision on, either to endorse and approve or to reject. So last night was the first meeting of the month, which is sort of a midweek break for us. So May 1st was their workshop meeting where they handled a couple of different questions, pretty interesting things. First, they held their second of 2 budget public hearings, advancing draft warrant articles to the town meeting. That's going to be held on Tuesday, June 3rd at 7:00 p.m. in the YPAC at Yarmouth High School. So we encourage you to join us then. Just after that special meeting, they held their workshop meeting where they talked about a handful of annual recognitions for some very important local awards, the Latch String Award and the Spirit of America Award. And they were also introduced a topic of a climate action Superfund resolution, which was recommended by the Yarmouth Climate Action Board and is a resolution affirming the town's interest in pursuing legislation, or at least supporting legislation towards climate action Superfund programs at the state level. So if you want to learn more about that, take a look at the town's website. All of the meeting material is available under the Town Council heading, and it's new and improved. So take a look, and there's backup information or background information on all those items that are being discussed. Next Thursday, Operations Committee meeting. They'll continue to review those items for the May 15th voting meeting. They'll also be holding a joint workshop with the Local Development Corporation here in town, which is sort of a quasi-municipal town operation that's looking for proactive economic development tools here in Yarmouth. So if you're interested in any of that or sort of looking forward towards a voting meeting, again, take a look at the town's website or reach out to your town councilors. Have a great weekend. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next Friday.